Welcome to the World Register Report. The World Register is an independent news source providing truthful, unbiased, and timely reporting of people, places, and events. Commentaries are also provided on selected stories from time to time. Fox News reports today that a U.S. intelligence official who released names of private citizens affiliated with U.S. President Donald Trump's team is, quote, very well known, very high up, very senior in the intelligence world. A congressional source close to the investigation told Fox the main issue in this case is not only the unmasking of these names of private citizens, but the spreading of these names for political purposes that have nothing to do with national security or an investigation into Russia's interference in the U.S. election. Representative Devin Nunes, Republican of California, is currently investigating the unmasking of U.S. citizens whose communications were collected under the former President Barack Obama. Two sources in the intelligence community told Representative Nunes in January about the exposure of a private citizen, the person responsible for the exposure, and gave him reports that showed the activity. Breitbart News Network reports today that a mother and father who are accused of killing their daughter could be paid up to 14,000 euros since prosecutors cannot figure out which one of them committed the murder. According to the report, the 5-month-old girl was beaten in an asylum home for refugees in Sund, Sweden. The girl died from head injuries later at a hospital. The murder took place in June of last year. Swedish prosecutor Barbro Brenlund said, quote, we know the time and place and that one of them did it, but their stories differ greatly and we cannot prove which version is true, so there is no way to prosecute anyone. The mother has since been acquitted and could receive up to 14,000 euros from the Swedish government for damages. A defense attorney will attempt to obtain the same amount of damages for the father. In a report by RT today, relations between the Russian Federation and the United States has deteriorated to levels not seen since the Cold War. The RT report stated that Dmitry Peskov, a Kremlin spokesperson, said blatant anti-Russia propaganda has led to Americans seeing Russian hackers in every fridge. The poor U.S.-Russian relations were further exacerbated in December last year when former U.S. President Barack Obama expelled 35 Russian diplomats from the U.S. and closed diplomatic compounds. Peskov continued to express his dismay over the xenophobic media reports made during the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign by saying, quote, this campaign was nothing but slander, all those fake news stories having nothing beneath and no evidence. We'll continue to suggest to everyone saying that Russia was interfering in the domestic affairs to read Mr. Putin's lips. This was a reference to Russian President Vladimir Putin's response to a question on Friday when asked if Russia meddled in the U.S. election. His reply was, read my lips, no.